This is insane. Look at this. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. And today is actually a subscriber recommended video. Yes, that's right. sburk0422. Unusual name, suggested that I should try reverse flower painting, and you ask sburk0422 and you shall receive. And to be fair, I wasn't 100% sure what reverse flower painting is, or whether it's like a very specific technique that everyone knows about, but apparently this creator on YouTube called Fiona Art, they do loads of these kind of acrylic pour paintings, different techniques, and one of them they do is a reverse flower painting technique, and it looks very interesting. It was way different to what I thought it was actually going to be. I watched one of their videos yesterday. When they started doing it, I was like, oh, I understand what's going to happen. But then at the final step, they did something crazy and I was like, oh, hang on, I wasn't expecting this. So we'll see if I can do just as good of a job as Fiona Art can do. It's got the potential to look a bit shitty, I'm not gonna lie. So to start this painting process off, you're going to need some sort of like little wheelie thing. I think they call this a Lazy Susan or something, don't they? Or just like a cake display, I don't know. I think a Lazy Susan's a very specific thing, isn't it? Where you put like spices on. Don't know. But you need one of these and a little canvas or whatever you want to work on. Then in the video I watched yesterday with Fiona Art, they had this very specific contraption. I don't know whether it was a specific type of glass, which had like ridges in and stuff, and it looked very specific to what they do. I don't have one of them, and I had a little look around yesterday, I couldn't find one of them. So I'm just using a regular glass, and I think it'll work just as well. We'll see. And I just want to put that on the middle of my canvas. The thing is as well, with like pour painters and stuff, I feel like they come up with the most crazy, weird ways of like painting. They're like, oh, let's get a mop and let's shove a cucumber on it and play with feathers and wipe our ass with it. Like, I don't know, they're living in another world, aren't they? Which I kind of love, by the way. That's not a criticism. I enjoy it. And then we need some pour paints. And I just bought a box of pour paints. I've just realised it's come with this. What is this?
Strawberry lube.
Is that like the silicone oil or whatever it's called? It must be. I don't fully understand. I have done pour painting, but I'm not like a master at it. I'm assuming you add this into the paint. I might add some drops and just for the crack, just for shits and giggles. We'll see what happens. Oh, actually, I've just remembered. I'm sure I need to paint this canvas first. I'll tell you what, I'll get my colours first. What colours do I want to use?
All of them.
Go for a green, a reddish pink, a yellow, blue, and this colour too. And we'll have some of that as well. Is that too many colours? I don't think you can have too many colours, can you? Oh, actually, I want a white as well. I've just remembered, before I start painting this, I just want to add some rolls of tape underneath just to elevate it a little bit. And then we want to give a base coat of whatever colour you want. I'll go for black for this first one. Just make sure the entire canvas is covered. This is obviously just to help the rest of the pour paint kind of flow and mix in with things. And then we want to stick our glass in the middle. And then this is the fun part. You just want to take your colours and basically just pour it down the glass. Obviously Fiona's had these ridges, so they would go down very specific areas. I'm hoping mine will eventually find areas it wants to go down and just stay going down those areas, because I think you want it quite even, but mine's just going to be a bit asymmetric, but that's okay. And just keep adding your colours. Here it goes. I think as well with pour painting, you can kind of piss around with stuff, like, although you have specific rules and specific techniques, I think sometimes the more random something is, the better it actually ends up looking. So if it's not perfect, like, who cares? Who cares? You might just end up creating something completely different. I might be trying to do a reverse flower painting and I end up doing like a forward facing flower painting. I don't know. And then you can kind of see along here, it's creating what will be petals. I really like this Fiona Art's voice as well. She's from Serbia and she's got like a proper like raspy kind of voice where you wouldn't want to mess with them. That's the kind of voice she's given. I love it.
Pearl white mixture.
I don't think my painting's going to be as nice as theirs, because mine doesn't look like flowers. I'll tell you what I might do. I might just add some oil on. Don't know what that does, but it might add some cool effects. Right, let's just add some more paint. The thing is, I'm loving this. How it is. I find this to be the art rather than the actual finished art. Like, look at that. I find that way more interesting than what the finished painting's actually going to end up looking like. I can already tell. Like, why can't that be the art piece? Looks like a little alien or something. Okay, so now they removed the cup, and their cup was easier to remove because it had like blank bits, whereas mine doesn't. But we'll try and get rid of this cup. Okay. And the thing is, they had obvious areas where to kind of poke it in. I don't really. So I'm just going to try and just do that. I'll just try and make my own. Oh, you know what? I am actually getting flower from it. I wasn't at first, but now that I've put these lines in, it feels a little bit more floral. Oh, good. I was really worried because this was just going all to pot. And then they also bring these bits out too. I feel like I've put too much paint on. Okay, I feel like it's lost its flower vibe. It doesn't look floral anymore. I've lost it.
Where is it?
It was flower related and now it's just blob related.
There he is. Oh my.
If we just get the middle bit here and try and drag this in. Oh, here we go. What about this? I still can't quite see flower. It's fully disappeared now. It just looks like an optical illusion, but all right. Okay, so once you have your flower, this is the weird bit that I was kind of shocked about. I would have thought they just kind of kept it like that and that's the painting. No. What we do, we get a napkin, but I don't have any napkins, so I'm just going to use a bit of fabric. And you cover this entire thing, believe it or not.
Why?
I don't fully understand why. I wasn't really paying attention. And you just kind of do that. Doesn't that look nice? And then what Fiona does, just kind of press it down a little bit, and then you want to peel it off, taking all the corners. Oops. This is a bit tricky, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, that's different, isn't it?
Yeah.
It doesn't look like Fiona's at all. And also, Fiona doesn't do anything with the napkin, I don't think. I want the bit of fabric. Or do I want the bit of fabric? The bit of fabric looks a bit crap, I'm not gonna lie. I'll put it to one side anyway. And then another thing that they do is now spin it. I just feel like I'm making a bit of a mess, but alright, we'll see if this does anything. So I don't think you want to spin it too much because otherwise it's going to end up not looking like anything. I feel like I'm getting a bit more flower now. Do you think? Am I being delusional? Can we actually see a flower in that? I feel like it's given some sort of abstract flower. I ruined it a little bit because I left a blob there. If that blob didn't exist, it would look a little bit more floral. I still think it's interesting. It's a very interesting process. I just think there's a few too many steps for me. I'm not going to lie. Bear with us 1 second. I'm just going to have a look at a channel and see if they've got any other kind of techniques I want to try, because I don't know whether well, it's not that I'm not loving the flower technique, the reverse flower painting. I really enjoy it. I just don't think I've got the correct tools for it, so it's not going to work how I want it to work. Jellyfish party, all right. Oh, painting over a colander, I've done that before, haven't I? Black and white floral dip with a striking iridescent accent. Mine's not going to have an iridescent accent because I don't have any. So they're doing dots. Dots within dots, more dots within dots. What's with the napkin? That's what I'm curious about. It looks really nice. I don't know, I'm a bit conflicted because I like it before the napkin, and then the napkin changes things. I'll try and do that one because that's another reverse flower painting, but a different way of how I've done it here. What I'll do, by the way, is I'll show you what these paintings look like at the end of the video once they're fully dry, because I think they're going to take literal days to dry. You have no idea how close I was to dropping that on my carpet. So close. Okay, so I've got a brand new canvas. Before I do get messy and before I end up inevitably getting paint on my brand new t-shirt, I thought I would let everyone know that I've got brand new merch. Blah blah blah. And for this merch, it's a complete like relaunch, so I've gone with a different supplier and stuff. So there's a lot of different things, like this hat for example. I don't know whether you'll be able to see, but it's actually embroidered, so I think that's really nice, isn't it? I've got some new mugs here as well. A lovely Kathy mug with a different handle. These are beastie mugs, by the way, and your sexy orange mug as well. And they come with like different coloured inserts and different coloured handles. I think they're nice. They do come in a smaller size as well. I've also got different kinds of totes. This is from the blah blah range. It's actually from the shit and says range. That's literally what the range is called. So you have the blah blah blah, and you also have profesh, so you've got like an embroidered little thing. I'm not a huge fan of beanies. I don't really suit beanies, but if anyone likes beanies, you've got them. And there's the Kathy one, and I'm pretty sure there's a sexy orange one as well. There's all over print t-shirts. How cute, how fun. And there's still like the classics, like your Kathy pop art stuff. It's printed on the front and the back now. And we've also got hoodies with embroidered logos too. I don't really want to bring you up close because I'm going to get paint on everything. How nice is that? Fun. If you want to have a closer look at any of this merch, there'll be a link down below. And I was kind of in two minds about switching because I do like what T-Mill stands for, and I like their kind of eco mindset, their kind of conscious choices and stuff. I think that's really important. However, there's one thing that T-Mill does that really, well, actually there's a couple of things that really pissed us off. So the first thing is what T-Mill would do is release a brand new like range of products for you to design and stuff and be like, oh, we've got back backpacks and this and that and caps and all sorts. And I'd be like, oh, fab. So I would get there and start designing them, only for literally 2 days later for them to release another post saying, oh, by the way, we're discontinuing all of them. It's like, why? What is the point? If you knew 2 days later you were going to get rid of them all, why release them in the first place? There was no point. I've just wasted my time designing some merch for you to then get rid of it all. Secondly, stock issues. Oh my god, the amount of things that were out of stock for months and months and months and months and just never seemed to get restocked. It was really frustrating and really irritating us. The third thing, I emailed them and I messaged them on this thing. Didn't get a reply, didn't get any response. They completely ghosted us. So I was just like, no. We do not run businesses like this. If someone, and by the way, I paid a certain amount of money for this kind of like pro version of T-mail. So there's money up front that I spent on this. And for them not to even bother replying to us with genuine inquiries, it just really pissed us off. So that's why I've kind of scrapped T-mail and gone with a different supplier that I'm happy with. And I think with this supplier, although they're not like kind of eco and conscious or anything like that, what you will find is that the merch is a lot more affordable. I think with T-mail it was slightly expensive. It had to be. The profit margins were so thin and so narrow. Some stuff's still a bit pricey, but that's out of my control. I can only apologise.
Forgive me, Father.
And I've had no issues. The only thing I'll say, mind, if you order something like this with a big print on, this came and it came like really like puckered, and I was proper like gutted about it. I was like, this t-shirt's completely ruined. But because it's such a large and weird shaped print, all you need to do is flip it inside out and then put it kind of between your ironing board, if that makes sense, and just iron the back of it. So just, I don't want to flash here, but like iron this side where the print isn't on, and that'll take out all the puckering. It's done a really good job for this, because this was terrible. It was really bad, but it's really fixable. Okay, don't worry if you buy one and it ends up being like that. Just run an iron over it. And I do think it's because of the print, because the Kathy one was fine. Kathy has no problems. Kathy's just Kathy though, isn't she? But yes, feel free to have a little browse, and don't worry if you bought any of the other merch. You now have vintage ant merch, and that's special. I'm probably shocking at selling stuff, aren't I? No one would ever employ me as like a business person. I'm like, yeah, just buy it or don't. I'm not really asked. But anyway, let's make another lovely painting. I think this one will be easier, and I want to start with a white base this time. You know what? I'm just going to add a couple of bits of this oil stuff in here. I'm pretty sure this is silicone oil. Right, and this one is all about symmetry and dots, and I'm pretty sure I can handle dots. I hope I can. Right, so there's no stick with this one. It's just literal dots. So we had more dots around the outside. Does this look like a flower yet?
No.
It looks interesting. I'm liking what it is, but I don't think it's a flower. It completely transforms at the end though. Well, Fiona's does. I don't know whether mine will. So we've got our dots there. And then we again do the napkin thing. Hopefully I don't ruin you. And then the whole point of this kind of thing is it's supposed to like pull the paint up in a very specific way, and that's supposed to make it look like a flower, and that's the whole reverse flower painting of it all. So if you get each corner, I feel like I'm trying to make sense of the technique. I don't fully feel like I've mastered it. Oh, okay. That's different. That looks like something, doesn't it? I am going to keep these bits of fabric, mine. Because look at that. Look on the back. How cool is that? I'm not going to lie, the fabric scraps are really, really hard to salvage if you're going to try this. I've done my best, but I don't think they're going to look very good. And then that's all Fiona did with theirs, I think. Yeah, theirs looked a lot better than mine. Let's just see if there's another one I want to do. I'm kind of into this now. Oh. That looks fun. Oh, I want to try that one. Right, we'll put this to one side and then we're going to try that technique because that looks really fun. It looks like something right up my street. Okay, so for this next painting technique, Fiona has attached like a straw at the bottom of a plastic cup and used it as like a little funnel thing to get some like really nice effects. It looks so cool. And I was like, yes, I want to try that. Unfortunately, I don't have a straw, so I've got this thing. It's a little plastic nozzle, and I think that'll do. I feel like that was a bit unnecessary. I could have easily just like used a pair of scissors, couldn't I? I'm clearly feeling a bit dramatic today. Right, but now that we have our hole in the bottom, I'm just gonna get some glue because I want there to be a very, very good seal around this so none of it slips out. Look at me making contraptions. I feel like a scientist. Oh, it's alive! And then before I forget, just close the hole with some blue tack. So then what we want to do is fill this cup full of paint, which I feel like is gonna be a little bit of a waste, but I think it's going to be worth it. This is insane. Look at this. Look how cool that is. There's actually not as much paint in here as I thought there was going to be. Obviously, you do not want to mix this at all. You want it exactly like that. So when you're ready with your cup, you want to take this bit off and we're going to run the entire thing over. I don't know how fast this is going to pour out, so we'll see what happens. Okay, it's very slow pour, that's fine. So, I'm not going to lie, that was incredibly fun and incredibly hypnotic. Also, I had just enough paint. That took so much paint to do. And also, I'm curious where all the other colours went. I put 18 colours. I think I can see about 4. So, I'm not sure what happened. But I think it looks really cool. It almost looks like a brain pattern or something. The one thing that bothers me more than anything, and anyone who's got OCD out there, I can only apologise for that random dot. I don't know where it came from. It just ruins the entire thing, doesn't it? But that's just like a really interesting pattern. You can see along the top where it's a bit more kind of wider and more fluid with the kind of mark making. And then as I went down, it just got a bit more narrow, a bit more tight, to this corner where it was almost just dripping out. But I'm very, very curious to see what that'll look like once it's dry, because I think it's going to look completely different to what it looks like now. And I'm absolutely not going to do a paper thing or anything like that, because I love it the way it is. There is a shitload of paint on this, mind. It is thick with paint, so this could look completely different in a few days. And that gets me a little bit excited. I'm a bit turned on, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, spank me.
This one was my favourite technique out of them all, by the way. Get yourself a plastic cup and a little nozzle and just do a bit of drizzlies. It's way more fun than pissing around with the napkin. I'm sorry, Fiona, but it is. This idea was the best one. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Anyway, I think that's all the paintings I want to try today. I will insert a video of all 3 of the paintings as we speak now. Hopefully on screen they look absolutely lovely. They've kind of transformed, they're different. Hopefully the first 2 look like flowers. Hopefully the third one looks very mysterious and elegant. I think with pour painting, sometimes you can think that it's going to look like something, and then once it's dry and once it's moved and once gravity is taken over, they look completely different. The colours have changed, the patterns change, they get these little cell things and stuff, and it can be a nice surprise, but sometimes it can be a very gut-wrenching surprise. But that's the risk you take with pour painting, you know? Us artists know all about it. But anyway, hopefully you have enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And thank you very much, Eskberg0422, for suggesting I try this. I had a lot of fun. If you've come across any like weird painting ideas or craft ideas or anything like that you want me to test out so you don't have to, then feel free to leave them in the comments below. Feel free to also check out my new merch range, blah blah blah. I think I even have duffel bags and backpacks I think I have as well. Ooh. I designed it, I should know what I have. I think I've got some drinking glasses. I've got loads of shit on there. Oh my god, so much shit. And I'll see you next week for a brand new video. I love painting days in the studio, but the mess painting days create in the studio is unreal. I've got paintings, all these paintings just dotted around on the studio floor, and there's that immediate threat that I forget it's there and I stand in it. And it's happened before. I've stood in paintings plenty of times before.